On the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. Couple points. First off, this dude's a rock star. I'm loving Besant. Besant is just incredible. And we've got some stuff. He did an interview with somebody on, I think, Breitbart. And so we've got some snippets of his interview. Dude, I mean, again, he's just a rock star. He's good at what he does. He's been doing this a long time. It's funny, I got to see some pictures of him. They're public. I mean, it's not like anything special, but I saw some pictures of him when he was younger, and it's like, dude, he was a badass even back then. Love this dude. Also, something interesting is really happening within, I don't want to say our community, but it's something that, like, there's a few people. One of them's getting called out today, not intentionally. It just happened to be one of the idiots that's called themselves out. But I will be honest. You guys might like this person, so I apologize for any of you that get butt hurt because I don't like this person. The first time I heard this person talk was at a Clay Clark event. And the first time I heard this person talk, within about 2 seconds, I was like, ew, disgusting. It made me think of Hillary Clinton. It made me think of how she speaks. It bothered me tremendously. And I never liked this individual. Personally, they might be great people. Who knows? Don't know. I also know they got involved with one of my affiliates at one point, and I actually kind of stopped promoting them after they got involved. This individual has pretty much ruined everything they've gotten involved with, and I think that's one of the funny things that's happening right now. A lot of people, in this absence of news, we're having this weird pause of news. Maybe it's because of Thanksgiving, which seems really stupid if you think about it for a second. Very American holiday, but for some reason, nothing major's really going on. I mean, there is some stuff, but nothing major going on this week. Like, it's weird. It feels like, to me, the news is kind of like slow down, which is great. It's fantastic. It's giving me some free time, extra time. It's giving me some time to think about some of these things. But we seem to have this moment where a lot of people are outing themselves, are showing their true colors, are lost without any sort of stories to hide behind. And for their need for clicks, which I think is really what a lot of this is, it's addiction to trying to get clicks, trying to get audience, trying to get people to watch you. Personally, that's not my focus. I know a lot of people out there it is. People I've even been close to. That's their whole entire focus, it seems. This is going to be a hard time because they need sensationalism when there isn't any. It's fun to listen to. There's a bunch of people. I don't want to call everybody out. There's only one person that's getting called out today, and that's just because they happened to say something stupid, and it showed up in a few different places. And I'm like, let's talk about this. This is the time to pay attention. I say hold the same stuff against me that I'm claiming everybody should be living by. We have to be very discerning about where we get our information. Now, again, there's people I listen to that I know are going to say outlandish stuff that I literally know there's nothing in their video that's going to be helpful, truthful, even close to truth. And I will say I listen to them because I'm actually kind of curious what crazy stuff's on Real Raw News. One person in particular popped into my head. I actually listened to their video today. Didn't agree with any of it. I don't know if there was maybe 5%. I actually thought was probably somewhat rooted in truth. Literally. I would say 95% of the video I heard was like nonsense. Nonsense. There is so many people that have already been killed, already been arrested, already been whatevered, and it's like, well, how do you still have a show? Because these people keep showing up. Well, it's a clone. Okay, it's fine. Kill the clone too, then. If you're going to kill the actual person, why don't you kill the clone? I still don't get it. I think it's silly. Know a lot of people that talk about this stuff. Gentleman I talk to at the gym sometimes, he's usually very fond of a lot of these stories. Again, no offense to him or anybody. It's just, there's something about it. It's exciting, I guess. I don't know. But it's outlandish. It's all these things that are untouchable, that you can't look into. You just got to trust that they're telling you the truth. It's like, well, how do you know? Well, alleged sources say. I mean, really? I think a lot of us allow ourselves to get off the beaten path a little too far, a little too distant. And because of that, we'll entertain stuff without a lot of evidence. We'll entertain stuff with Well, somebody with credentials said, or we'll entertain stuff that's just entertaining. And again, cool with it. Personally, I think if you're going to broadcast and talk about it, Substack about it, or whatever the shit you do, I think it's important to be honest to your listeners, your viewers, your consumers. Hey, be like, I don't know. This is crazy, blah, blah, blah. Give yourself a little wiggle room. Frankly, it helps you. But at the same time, let your users know that some of this is rooted in God knows what. This is one of the things that we, our side specifically, you guys, you specifically, you and I need to get good at this. And I think you and I both can get better than we are currently at. I do. We got a lot to get into, and just something, I don't know, something about the slow news. Maybe I'm revealing my hand and showing you guys how ridiculous I am. Yeah, probably true. I love it. I'm loving the slow news. It's tripping me out a little bit. I feel like there's something brewing, something close, but it's like, all right, we'll do Thanksgiving first, I guess. And then right before Christmas, I have no idea. We're in a wild ride. I'm seeing a lot of crazy stuff happen. Things in the court specifically. FBI, majorly. Elections coming out. Venezuela, what the hell, right? China reaching out to Trump. That never happens. That's never happened. Bush was the last time, early Bush Senior. It's the first time that happened, last time that happened, frankly, where China literally reached out to us. Things are happening in the world, folks. They are. And most of it's not visible to us. And the people that are acting like they've got visibility or can see what's happening, they're the crazy people that we're seeing doing stupid stuff right now. They're the ones that are jumping out in front of the bus naked, for lack of a better analogy. Maybe you don't see it, maybe you do see it, I don't know. But I am thoroughly enjoying this part of the ride. We got some stuff. Like I said, I got best sense sprinkled in all over the place. It was him talking about the elite and how he voted against the elite on more than one occasion, but certainly gave a great example of how he, all right, this is what all the elites are saying. I disagree. This dude's been a shark his whole life. This guy's a rock star. And today, like I said, I'm going to crawl up inside Best Sense ass, apparently, and see if it smells like roses or ferns or must. I don't know. We'll find out.
I saw very early that President Trump was going to win in 24. Yeah. And I went and I was telling a lot of Wall Street people that. Yeah. And they just had to go through the whole cycle of everybody who was up on stage in Milwaukee. Many of them great candidates, many of them not so great candidates. And it was, well, what about this one? What about that one? It was, Trump's going to win. You're crazy. There's this, there's that. And the thing that struck me and really convinced me was there's this idea in financial markets, if something goes up on bad news, it's a super stock. Right. Okay, I'll pick on Microsoft. If Microsoft reports bad earnings, the stock goes down, but then keeps going, then everyone realizes that was just a short-term blip, but something's going on in the background, whether it's AI or big transformational change at the company. And I could see that the more the Democrats doubled down on the lawfare on President Trump, whether it was the Mar-a-Lago raid or the nonsense in Atlanta, the district attorney, the city of New York, the attorney general for the state of New York, the more they attacked it, the more his poll numbers went up. Yeah. The more his poll numbers. So he'd broken out, and I was just convinced.
And convinced for all the right reasons. He absolutely was on the right tracks. Bessent knew what was up. Now, right now, this is a YouGov poll, by the way. YouGov poll. So, economists, even for that matter. Left-leaning, of course. Only 8% say Democrats won the government shutdown battle. Now, the breakdown that's really cool on this is the actual numbers. So 45% said neither side won. Actually, probably would be more in that category, that group. 52% said Republicans won, which means 97% get it. That's huge. 97% more or less understand the shutdown for what it was. Not necessary. Didn't accomplish anything, only hurt people. Tried to get attention to something which actually the intention was a negative attention. Now we're actually going to take that money away from the insurance companies, which is who they were trying to defend. Again, many can say, oh, this is part of the movie. Okay, I mean, it is, probably. I mean, sure. I don't think it's quite that scripted. I think a lot of people really, really give a lot of credit to this idea that people are just playing parts like actors. I don't think that's true. I think a lot of people, just from a conscious level, are playing the part that they were born to play. And some of these people are playing it perfectly and playing it as assholes, but I don't think they're reading a script. I don't think it's intentional. I think they're literally just being them. We can disagree on that. It's always good. 8%. I don't feel like that number's actually accurate when I add up 52 and... Did I do the math wrong? 52 and 45. Isn't that 97? Isn't that 97? How do they get 8%? 97 minus the rest is 7%. Whatever the hell, Breitbart. I don't know. I'm just happy you actually interviewed Scott Bessent, because we're going to play some of that. So Ann Vandersteel, she's the one that's getting called out. Now again, seen her in public. A lot of you guys might like her. She's a strong woman. All right, cool, whatever. I can't stand the way she talks. I can't stand listening to her. She speaks angrily. She's the angry talker. I can't handle it. She's like Hillary Clinton. I just can't handle it. I don't like it. I don't respond well to that. That's just me. I'm wired weird. People that talk all like crazy angry and shit pisses me off. I don't like angry people. Won't hang out with my Republican brother because he's angry. Won't hang out with my Democrat brother because he's angry. Won't hang out with my Democrat mom because she's angry. Can't fucking stand being around it. Life is way too short. And people are like, really? You'd step away from family? Life is way too short. I'll see him again when we die. That's another thing that cracks me up. People talk about being faithful and all this shit. I believe in God. We're going to go to heaven. Okay, well, then fuck, you're going to see him again. This whole idea, your family. Family, life's so short. Yeah, it is short. You'll see him again. Don't worry. Relax. You'll see him again. And then you can be like, why were you such a dick? Or whatever. You'll see him again, folks. Please. I say that to my girlfriend. It cracks me up because she gets mad. She's like, what, are you going to say I'm dying soon? I'm like, no, life goes fast. 30 years, 40 years for her and I, we're going to be dead. Toast. Dead skis. Unless something really, really cool happens. We all, go into the fifth dimension and then we live long. Whatever. I'm not going to worry about that, though. I'm certainly not thinking about med beds and stupid shit like that. Might happen. But that's not where my mind's at with it. I'm probably going to die. That's where my mind's at. It's going to happen. I'm going to see these people again. I'm going to go back home. I'm going to see God and Jesus and Mary and all these cool people. Probably a lot of rock stars, too. I miss the music. So Vandersteel, she posted this. And again, I don't understand why people are doing this, why they're posting it. Why didn't you just keep your mouth shut? Why did you feel like you had to post? Now, again, some of these people have the devil and the angel on their shoulders. And the devil wins sometimes, I think. And I think that's probably what happened with Vandersteel for the most part, especially when she's talking. So she says it's over. The whole MAGA psyop is over. It's America only, ride or die. Don't slide into my DMs whining about flipping on Trump. No, he flipped on us. Watch this video and tell me where you do not agree. And if you come at me with some 5D chess crap, you're going to get a block. Why is Epstein the dividing line? Why are the talking parrot head influencers still backing someone who has done the following and telling us we are not America first and that we are the Pennikins? I am America first, full stop. Loyalty is a two-way street. Now, this is ridiculous. And, of course, I'm not going to watch this guy. Don't give a shit about Black Scout survival that doesn't get it. And, again, I don't care what Ann thinks. It doesn't bother me at all. And honestly, I mean, for the most part, it really doesn't bother me what anybody thinks. I'm trying to navigate this landmine myself right now. And I don't mean any disrespect to anybody out there, but that's truly what I'm doing. And I know I've got a bunch of you guys that are with me. And so I'm very aware of that. But ultimately, I'm trying to get myself, through this landmine field. And then hopefully you guys are paying attention to what I'm doing and where I'm putting my feet. That's all I can do. That's all I can do. I'm holding a flashlight. I love each and every one of you. But every time I hear an explosion go off, I know I just lost one of you. And it pains me. But I also know I'm going to lose more. I can't cry because I know I'm going to lose more. I keep telling you, don't do it. I'm going to do it anyway. Not you, maybe. But you know that other one next to us. Right? So again, you might like Ann. Like I said, she's a big part of the Clay Clark stuff. That's where I heard her. She's big buddies with Clay. I just think Clay was just about the business opportunity. Clay was a brilliant businessman. By the way, if you want to get better at business, I would recommend his business class. I took something very similar at one point. It's just good. There's just a lot of great information in there that will help you be more successful. Not necessarily saying you should take his. I don't want to say who. What was his name? Can I remember it? Ty, what was his name? Ty something. Anyway, it was good. It was good. He was surprisingly good when it comes to business. Truth Hammer also posted something. Lady who sells sovereign citizen kits to the gullible wants you to believe Trump has flipped on us. I mean, this is... it's just a weird place. Like I said, this calm, this weirdness that's been happening over the past week, this quietness, if you will, right? All of us are talking about what's gonna happen. You know, Trump did that executive order for the elections. That's been like 3 weeks now. You know that? This is coming soon. Everybody's been talking about it's coming soon. You know? Here we are 3 weeks later. Hasn't come at all yet. I'm not saying it's not gonna. No. I'm not flipping. It's not like that. I'm saying the timing's gonna be perfect. But this weird lull is driving people fucking crazy. And again, I'm getting a kick out of it. U.S. President Trump says an investigation has shown Biden used the auto pen for last year's turkey pardon. Well, we can't trust that shit either now. Damn it!
Before going any further, I want to make an important announcement because you remember last year, after a thorough and very rigorous investigation by Pam Bondi and all of the people at Department of Justice, the FBI, the CIA, the White House Counsel's Office, and the Department of Everything. We have a Department of Everything. You know what that is? I think that's called the White House. Into a terrible situation caused by a man named Sleepy Joe Biden. He used an auto pen last year for the turkey's pardon. So I have the official duty to determine, and I have determined that last year's turkey pardons are totally invalid. As are the pardons of about every other person that was pardoned other than, where's Hunter? No, Hunter's was good. That was the one pardon, Pam, that was good, right? The rest of them are all invalid. I don't know what the hell you're going to do about that, but now we're going to take a little of the joking. That is a mess. But they're hereby null and void. The turkeys known as Peach and Blossom last year have been located, and they were on their way to be processed. In other words, to be killed. But I have stopped that journey, and I am officially pardoning them, and they will not be served for Thanksgiving dinner. We saved them in the nick of time. This one has plenty of time, but they were saved in the nick of time.
No, he just dropped them off in the Somali neighborhood somewhere in Minnesota. That's what he did. And that turkey lasted about 2 seconds. Yes, happy Somali Day. French authorities say 4 suspects tied to last month's news heist have been taken into custody. Apparently they caught all 4 of the guys using the little stepladder thing and inside job, literally... just cut through the outer lock to get into total inside job. Anyway, they apparently caught all 4. There you go. Don't you feel better and safer? I certainly do. FBI is launching a probe into the Democratic lawmakers over video on the illegal orders. We've got Caroline Levitt talking a little bit about this. Let's hear what she has to say.
The White House is supportive of the Department of War's investigation into Senator Mark Kelly, and I think what Senator Mark Kelly was actually trying to do was intimidate the 1.3 million active duty service members who are currently serving in our United States Armed Forces with that video that he and his Democrat colleagues put out. Senator Mark Kelly well knows the rules of the military and the respect that one must have for the chain of command, and that all lawful orders are presumed to be legal by our service members. You can't have a functioning military if there is disorder and chaos within the ranks, and that's what these Democrat members were encouraging. It's very clear, and not a single one of them, since they've been pressed by the media, and I'll give you guys credit for that, can point to a single illegal order that this administration has given down, because it does not exist. They knew what they were doing in this video, and Senator Mark Kelly and all of them should be held accountable for that.
Yeah, I mean, they're lawful orders. I mean, I got a number of people in my audience that are military and ex-military. Lawful orders is a kind of a really weird, misty area. And frankly, I mean, I think some of you would agree with me. Like, that would be along the lines of, yeah, go in there and rape that girl, or go in and shoot that civilian, that baby in the head, because that baby might have a grenade on him, right? Like, and I don't mean like 12-year-old, I mean like 6-month-old. Like, there's places where you'd be like, no, I'm not doing that. You can do whatever you want to me. I'm not going to go shoot a baby in the head. That's just not happening today. Sorry, I didn't wake up today going, the smell of napalm, I hope I get to kill a baby. Right? That's not how the day started. Other than that, everything they say is a legal order, and you start questioning that, and we start having problems in our military, frankly. Healthy Home, great products. I love them. I just made sure before I even started, made sure to take my STEM Active. It's like, ooh, take my STEM Active. Perfect time to do it. Got a beverage sitting next to me right now. It's when you need it, and a little bit of wet your whistle when you're drinking the pill. They've got the gel, which a lot of people like as well. Stem cells are these cells in your body that actually do healing. Actually, a lot of people, when they get injured really badly, especially professional sports, they'll go and get stem cell treatments. Now, those treatments usually involve fetal cells, first off. Second off, they inject them into you. Third off, they're incredibly helpful. I'm not saying it's okay and morally okay. I'm just saying that's what they do. They're extraordinarily helpful. My point is, our bodies make stem cells. On their own, by itself, it makes stem cells. The stem cells are cells that heal yourself. They're cells that can become any cell in the body. They start off just being, wild and carefree, like a 70s cell, like a 60s, 70s cell, just wild and carefree. And then there's the calling. The need happens. Heart's like, I need some help. I got a bad cell. Or the lungs like, I got sick and I killed some cells in my coffin. Or your liver's like, dude, seriously? Right? These things run to those locations and become those cells. Once it becomes a liver cell, it's never going to stop. It's going to continue to drink the nectars of the gods that I feed it, and maybe die just because of that anyways. But it'll become a liver cell and stay a liver cell. Likewise for the heart cell. Likewise for the lung cell. They become those cells. They become them. Well, you make them yourself. The problem is as we age, we make fewer of them. This helps you bump that up 25 to 40%, just bam, right out of the gate. Plant-based materials, healthy, safe, amazing, and makes a huge difference. I had an issue with my shoulder. Dislocated, it was hurting when I was working out. Totally stopped. Took about 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks. I don't know. Just one day I was working out and I'm like, dude, my shoulder doesn't hurt anymore. What the shit? And it was specifically on the exercise where I was like, this is the one I've got to do really carefully, make sure I properly, precisely. Not anymore. Now I can just do it however. Stem cells are amazing. You need to get your body count up. It's going to heal you. They've also got it for pets, by the way. There's stem cell for pets, about half the price. Chewable tablets for your dogs, cats. It's down at the bottom. We'll get there. Balance is amazing. Ladies, going into the childbearing years, the ones coming into it and the ones leaving it, it's a crazy experience, apparently. Quite the slip and slide adventure, right? Maybe, no pun intended. Children coming into it when they first start their womanhoodness, this has been helping tremendously. Ladies going through menopause, leaving it. This has been helping tremendously. Balance, again, plant-based. No synthetic hormones. In fact, 2 different ladies, I've said this before, that both had different experiences of the synthetic hormones that many of you ladies are prescribed. I don't know anything about this. I'm going by what they told me, okay? So I'm just sharing information. One of them enjoyed the synthetic hormone experience, felt it helped, right? Started taking the balance, and she's like, damn, this is like, woof. This was like, I didn't realize I was missing this. Still kept taking the synthetic hormones, but had a much better experience. The other young lady, she had opposite experience. She didn't like the synthetic hormones. They sucked. She started taking the balance, felt good again. All it is transdermal lotions. It's 1, 2, 3 clicks. People keep talking about the clicks. How many clicks you use is how long this thing's going to last. If you're a 3 clicker, that'll last you like a month. If you're a 2 clicker, maybe a little longer, month and a half, right? 2 months maybe. 1 clicker, this thing will last you 3 months. So how you use it is how long it lasts. You can decide that when you start using it. Put a little on your wrist, rub your wrists together. It's transdermal. There's a lot of blood flow in this part of your body. It's a great place to do those kinds of things. And within minutes, women are talking about seeing an improvement, bringing balance back to their life. You're tired of being hot and cold all the time? How about some balance? Tired of constantly snapping at your other half because you're just not in the right state of mind? How about some balance? This is helping women all over the place, and also helping men and women, by the way. Amaze, collagen peptide, collagen. So it's a liquid. None of that granular crap that you got to try to stir into something, and then you're wondering why you're scraping it off the side of your cup when you try to wash it, and it's like cement. That's what it does to your stomach. Not this. It's collagen peptides. It's liquid already. It's delicious, by the way. Lemon berry. So good. So good. This is actually the one of all the products they sell. This is the best tasting, hands down, unquestionably. Prime's really good. I'm not a big fan of the, I don't know. Some might like it. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Something about that. It's just weird. It's a little weird. It's good. I don't know. I'm not helping the sale, but yeah, the gels. My girlfriend left me with a bunch of these, and I was trying to, I figured I'd just, switch out. I like the pills. The pills are so much easier. It just is. Amaze is fantastic, though. It's not in reach, but it's a collagen peptide. You got sagging skin. You got sore muscles, joints, all that stuff. All the little places in between everything, it's collagen. Peptide's the smallest form that absorbs almost immediately. From the stomach, it'll absorb. In the intestines, it almost absorbs immediately. It's barely going to even make it into your intestines before this is actually in your body and moving around. Not the same with some of the powders that are out there right now. This is one of the best forms of the product that you can possibly get your hands on, and you're going to notice the difference with your skin, with your hair. You're going to notice a huge difference. This collagen peptide's amazing, and it will amaze you. And Prime, all it does, and it's fantastic the way it does it, and I make it sound like it's nothing, but it's amazing, is it's a nitric oxide booster, which means it allows your blood cells to carry more oxygen. You're going to have more energy. It's fantastic. Go to danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. That's danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. Hit the shops. You can join also. I do recommend if you've got your own site, your own, maybe Substack or whatever, I actually recommend you join. Instead of doing, you do the Premier member or whatever it is, the best member version. You don't have to pay a monthly fee. And all you got to do is buy something. They've got a whole bunch of different ways you can buy. You can buy one thing. If you want to buy one bottle of this, that'll get you going. It just makes you your own distributor. And then you get a link that you can share with people and a 3D barcode and all that nonsense. If you just want to be a customer, it's awesome. I appreciate that too. But this is a wonderful product, a wonderful company. And for a lot of you guys, it makes a good advertiser even for you. Go to danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. That's danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. Vindman Brothers, they helped impeach Trump, of course. They're now under investigation. Big time, nice. Pentagon General Counsel Earl Matthews alleges that Vindman and his twin brother Alex did not have approval from the U.S. government before seeking to act as paid brokers for American defense firms pursuing contracts with Ukraine after Russia's 2022 full-scale invasion. That's what the Washington Post is telling us. The letter does not explicitly allege the Vindmans received money from the Ukrainian government, arguing only that they did not insulate themselves from requirements of federal law, which is another way of saying they're totally guilty as hell. So we'll see what happens. Trump signs executive order to designate the Muslim Brotherhood chapter as foreign terrorists. What this has to do is starting that process. I don't know how long it takes. So I think at some point they will finally then report to us that they're now officially classified as such. But he has begun the process to do that. There's many, many things that they've got to do. They've done it before. They did this with, the Tren de Aragua and all that stuff, right? So same thing. But the Muslim Brotherhood, that's what Obama is a part of, by the way. Just in case you weren't playing along at home and wanted to be. This is pretty cool. And Laura Trump talks to Bill Maher, and they kind of, one, agree with each other, which is phenomenal. And Bill Maher is, I guess, part of why I like him. So apologies to everybody out there, because there's a lot of people that just don't like the fact that I kind of love being in the center, and I'm going to continue to be in the center. He's similar. He's center left. I'm center right, whatever. But doing the same thing, and equally hated. I piss off my own side of the crowd frequently. I obviously piss off the other side often. And I think there's a lot of times where I'm loved tremendously by the people towards the center. Like, I kind of make sense, They sort of talk about that. And I don't know, made me feel better, frankly. Maybe that's not a good thing, but it's how I experienced it.
For the insurgent candidate.
Well, by the way, you know who else does that is China. They love to tear this country apart. They love to see us at each other's throats, just in general, but that's to enrich themselves. That's to benefit China so they can usurp us as the power of the world.
One thing we totally agree on is I love America.
Amen.
That's my team.
That's my team, too.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
And I don't give any quarter to the leftists who just constantly downgrade America. It's another reason why they hate me. I mean, this is what I said to him your father-in-law in the text. It's like, if I'm so captured by the lunatic left, why did they hate me too?
God, does everyone hate you, Bill?
Everyone who's not fair. Yes, exactly.
You're all right.
That's how you know you're doing the right thing.
Maybe that's true. Maybe
when
that's true.
they both have an issue with you.
Yeah.
That's also why the people who like me a lot.
Yeah.
From both sides. And the people in the middle who just have had enough of people in their bubbles. Mm-hmm. I find it very frustrating that I cannot get the full story anywhere in the old media. It's I love the new Free Press. Mm-hmm. My girl Barry Weiss has started that, and now she runs CBS. Yeah. And, you're seeing a change there that's more fair.
Very positive.
I mean, I've been very tough on the media and
Do you like
their biases, and I cry no tears. We're losing NPR and PBS.
Yeah, don't cry any tears over that.
I don't.
No, I think that's probably better.
I don't. I don't know why you need the Kennedy Center.
Do you like the independent journalists in the press room?
What does that mean?
That means
in your press room?
Yeah, in the White House press room. Well, not mine, but, Maybe one day, Bill, we'll all keep the Trump train running. Everyone would like that.
Well, I know you were a very serious contender. You could have run for governor in North Carolina,
Senate.
right?
Senate. I was considering to run for Senate in North Carolina in 22.
Or Florida, right?
Marco Rubio's seat.
So why did you deter?
I got to be honest, it was one of the hardest decisions of my life. And it's funny because my father-in-law told me after I decided, our family ultimately moved to Florida instead of North Carolina. We made our home base Florida instead of New York in 2021 when I told you about the mortgage situation. And it was just a better fit for us. So, we weren't going to live in North Carolina. And I said, this is not the time for that. And then Marco's seat came up, and I took it very seriously. I had many conversations with him, and he was incredibly generous with his time and to explain everything to me and encourage me. And my father-in-law is the one who said to me, he was like, you're the only person who could have walked into a Senate seat and the only person to turn it down. And I was like, oh, well, maybe there'll be another chance. Honey, there'll never be another chance. That's it. You're done. And then Marco Rubio's seat came up, and I was like, a lot of people were really, heavily pushing me in that direction. And it would have been amazing. And I've never had a harder decision than that. Or, at the same time, I was in talks with Fox to have a show there. And I ultimately decided because my kids are so young.
Yeah.
They were at the time 5 and 7.
So yeah, anyway, her imitation of Trump is pretty damn good. It was pretty damn good. We got Boasberg. They're literally talking legitimate impeachment. There was discussions about whether or not we're going to get anything. This is such a long article. Whether or not Chief Justice John Roberts is going to do anything. But I wouldn't like count on it, if you will. But this one section really jumped out at me. Congress is not the only entity empowered to act. Under the Judicial Conduct and Disability Act, 28 U.S.C. Section 355, the Judicial Conference of the United States may refer a judge to Congress if it determines that the judge's behavior might warrant impeachment. Chief Justice Roberts, as chair of the Judicial Conference, is responsible for transmitting any such certifications. This mechanism was used recently in 2024 when the Judicial Conference referred former Judge Joshua M. Kindred to Congress following findings of reprehensible sexual misconduct. Kindred, appointed by President Trump in 2020, resigned after investigators concluded that he had engaged in improper relationships with a law clerk and created a hostile work environment. Of course, trying to make Trump look bad, but needless to say, it is what it is. The conference has exercised this authority 3 other times during Chief Justice Roberts' tenure. In 2015, it certified that impeachment of Judge Mark E. Fuller was warranted, citing substantial evidence that Fuller had physically abused his wife at least 8 times and had lied under oath about his behavior. The Judicial Conference noted that although Fuller had already resigned from his judgeship, the certification would serve as a public censure of Fuller's reprehensible conduct, which has no doubt brought disrepute to the judiciary. Fuller would later enter a criminal diversion program under which the charges against him were dropped. And of course, in 2009, after Judge Samuel B. Kent pleaded guilty to obstruction of justice, the Judicial Conference convened a special session and certified that impeachment might be appropriate. And in 2008, following an investigation into perjury, false financial disclosures, and alleged corruption, the Judicial Conference notified the Speaker of the House that impeachment of Judge G. Thomas Porteous Jr. should be considered. Roberts undoubtedly has the lengthy authority to convene a special session of the Judicial Conference and consider whether Boasberg's conduct warranted referral, but whether he will take that step remains an open question. While federal law provides a pathway for action, referrals are rare and have typically been reserved for cases involving criminal misconduct. Boasberg's situation is legally and politically more complex. The allegations against him involve judicial rulings and authorizations, pre-decisional commentary, and questions of political bias, not the sort of clear-cut criminal or ethical misconduct typically associated with Judicial Conference referrals. Roberts also faces significant political cross-pressure. Some see his intervention as essential to safeguarding the integrity of the judiciary. But at the same time, any step he takes could be seen as him improperly wading into highly charged partisan conflict, something he has historically sought to avoid. So he's definitely between a rock and a hard place. I don't know if he's got the gumption to do the right thing. We'll, of course, find out. FBI Director Kash Patel is talking about how the burn bags, how they actually involved other FBI directors, not just Comey. This goes deeper than that. He did an entire interview with Catherine Herridge. Look it up if you guys are interested. It's probably on our X site, like 28 minutes. I almost was going to play it at the end, but I don't even know if I might have actually opened it. I don't know if we'll have time for it. I doubt it. But all said, here's a little of it where he's talking about this.
Let me ask you, when you learned about the discovery of the 5 burn bags here at FBI headquarters, what went through your head?
Shock. Unbelievable shock that not just one director and his leadership team, but multiple would have information that's supposed to be secured. Some of it's classified, but I mean secured for purposes of record-keeping purposes to keep up with federal statutory requirements, because that's what we're supposed to be doing. And instead, they were deposited in bags listed for destruction. So that was very disturbing. Just that in and of itself, putting aside whatever was in there.
The burn bags were found in room 9582. That's a secure facility. I'm told by former agents that it would have some sort of access system or a key card system. Does FBI leadership have a good idea who put the burn bags in that room?
We do.
You know for sure, or you have a good universe of suspects? You know who put the burn bags there. What was the intent of the person who put the burn bags in room 9582? Was it to preserve them, to be discovered later, or to make sure they were destroyed?
Well, those are the questions we're answering for the public and for this investigation, because not only are we not in the business of not exonerating people, but we're in the business of taking our investigative findings and working with Congress to say, look, even though we did not or did reach a legal conclusion on the matter, this is of such public importance in terms of the weaponization of government that happened, who are people like President Trump were targeted, including myself and more senators that we just revealed thanks to this FBI's work in uncovering not just the burn bag, but other material related to Arctic frost. What we want to do is find a public forum to display that information. And we believe that until our investigations conclude, we will be limited in what we can produce.
It sounds to me like you know the answer to that question.
I do.
That's what I thought. Okay. A highly classified CIA referral containing intelligence about the 2016 presidential election was also discovered here at FBI headquarters in a storage closet adjacent to the FBI director's office. How many FBI personnel had access to that storage closet?
That's part of this ongoing investigation, and because we are working through that, I don't want to disclose the number of folks or even who had access to it, because that goes to your other question on who put it there and why did they put it there, and were there any instructions associated with them depositing that material in these rooms.
Am I correct, based on my reporting, it is a very, very small universe of individuals who had access to that storage closet?
Very small.
Is it in fact only one?
It's very small.
Yeah, very small. He used the term multiple people had access, right? So there's a few that had access. They had camera footage for sure, I'm guessing, of who actually walked in the room with the bag. So he knows exactly who, but there were a number of people that had brought stuff in and out of that room as well. I think we're also finding out. Again, they always get us thinking in binary ways. Oh, it's just one thing, it's one thing. No. They found a room, folks. They found a room that had all sorts of shit in it. They found the SDNY, Southern District of New York. They found the room. This was a big find. This was a jackpot, as they would say in the business. Yeah. So, cash is kicking ass. Now, again, pay attention to who is doubting. Pay attention. Just all I'm saying, guys, all I'm saying. The people that understand, I'm not going to say the plan because that's stupid. I'm saying the people that understand, one, the complexity of what we're actually dealing with. That, okay? Fuck the plan. Appreciating the complexity of what we're going against. Killed Kennedy, John F. Kennedy, right in public square, in front of everybody. Tried to do it to Trump in front of all of us. Did it to Charlie Kirk. A number of others. Shot Reagan. There's other people. Every 0-year president until, who was it that finally broke that? Was it Bush? Because little Bushy didn't want to die. All of this is coming to the surface. And it's very important to see who doesn't get the bigger picture. Okay? I'm not saying they're good people or bad people. I'm not making a judgment call on their character. What I am saying is, have they consistently, or are they now consistently, not getting it? Seems to be the case. We've got Lindell TV making rounds here. It's kind of nice. They've got Carrie Lake on there about election integrity, and we seriously, there's an expectation that at some point here at the perfect timing, Trump is going to begin the legal proceedings. Watch it happen. He's going to do an executive order, and then it'll get immediately sued. So they're messing with it. They're probably trying to keep the audience very small because they don't want to give people heads up so they can't file super early like they typically do. So this is going to be fun. Election integrity is and will happen for the next election. It will be locked in stone, and then from there we start to go backwards and prove probably why. And what will happen is Trump will do the executive order. The court stuff will start happening. What he'll do is he'll begin the public campaign of letting all the information out that we know. Tulsi Gabbard's going to play a huge role in this. Probably Kash Patel. A lot of stuff is going to come out. And so they're going to build up the public knowledge of this while it works through the courts. It'll be one more justice district, of course, that'll block Trump. It'll get up to an appellate court. I don't know what they're going to do there. They might just let it play, but they'll do it on a accelerated terms. Typically they can get to it within a week. Whatever the case, we'll see. Depends how and where they file. But we will get control of our elections and then find out all of the lies. It's coming. The timings are important. I think for the people that are like, when are people going to go to Gitmo? Folks, I'm going to be honest with you. That ain't happening until after next election. Okay? Seriously, get ready for that. It's going to be over a year before anybody goes to Gitmo. Even Comey and stuff like that, doubtful that he's going straight to Gitmo. They'll probably just put him in jail here in public. They don't need to go crazy. That'll be more for the military stuff. It's going to happen after the election because once they've demonstrated, the public, they've got to build this to the public, folks. They just do. We've got a long way to go as far as that's concerned before Gitmo is even possible. It's just logistics. So there's no way. I'm not trying to be like, oh, they're holding back. No, we're trying to go as fast as we friggin' can. If you guys keep helping, we might speed that up. It's possible. Your ripples make all the difference in the world. Needless to say, whatever. Off on a sidetrack. I'm having fun today. We didn't have a lot of news, so, I'm filling it with time and stuff and thoughts. Yeah, sorry. Needless to say, Carrie Lake talking election integrity. We got to fix this shit.
Well, I'm confident with President Trump in the Oval Office and some of the people he's assembled that we will have more secure elections. The question is how secure? That's the big question. It's the most important issue. And I've said it, I got canceled, I got called names. I don't care because if we do not secure our elections and bring about election reform so that one legal vote per legal voter is what we have, and it's on election day, not election month, and there's not all kinds of mail-in ballots with no chain of custody, we're going to lose our country, and then all the things we've done won't matter because we'll lose our country. It's the most important issue. I'm going to continue talking about it. As a matter of fact, maybe over at Voice of America, we'll get some investigative reporters in who want to look at election fraud and election malfeasance across the globe because we know it's not just in America that we have election fraud. Look at what's happened in Venezuela. Look at what happened in Brazil. Look what's happening in other countries where their elections are run like a banana republic. And so I think it's about time the whole world starts digging into who's really behind some of the malfeasance in our elections. And do we, the people of each country, truly get to choose our leaders? That's what it's about.
Dude, you're such a Carrie Lake. It's actually her name. RNC sues Michigan Secretary of State over election integrity. Making noise, guys. We're making noise. Michigan Republican Party, Michigan Township of Chesterfield clerk Cindy Barry. On the Republican National Committee, they filed a suit against Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson on November 18th over an unconstitutional and unlawful violation of the state's constitution. This is going to be fun because Jocelyn Benson's running for governor. And she's passed all this stuff that's questionable. And there's been all sorts of legalities that she's lost a bunch of stuff in court. And there's been a bunch of stuff she's just plain not cared what they said. This is going to be fun. She's going to be probably one of the funnest. I feel like Colorado's going to be one of these states too. Minnesota should be pretty exciting. I think New York and California are too big, not to fail, if you will, but too big to not figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, it'll be embarrassing, but I don't know. We'll see. But some of these states, they're going to be made examples of. That's what's going to happen. Michigan wasted millions on deceased Medicaid enrollees. We've been hearing about this in Minnesota. Now we're hearing about it in Michigan, too. I don't know how they say it. You guys say it weird in Michigan, by the way? In Michigan or some weird? Michigan? I don't know how you say it. Northern people usually use all the syllables. It's the South that tends to lose parts of the word. They're just like, fuck that word. Moat control. Can you hand me that moat control? Huh? The what? The moat control. What the fuck's that? The moat? You got alligators and shit around your house? Where do you fucking got a moat? Moat control. Fucking A, dude. I don't know what you're saying. I have no idea. No offense. I'm not trying to be a dick to my southern friends. And have a taco. They're good. It's what we do in the South. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent offers economic advice to Zohran Mamdani. This is pretty cool. And I love, like I said, I'm on a little bit of, this is because he was on the show. Alex Marlowe did a good job. But I'm having a small little romance here. It looks. I don't know why. I like this guy a lot. I don't know what it is. It's just a tall and distinguished gentleman. Oh, hubba hubba. No, it's not like that. But
It might not feel great over here for a little while, but we've got to enact the policies that help working Americans. You've got to believe that you're going to, that you are going to be better off because of this administration, that your children are going to be better off, and that's what we work for every day.
We got to rebrand the Breitbart Business Digest.
The Main Street Journal.
Yes.
Okay, they're gonna ask for your time back soon. Can we rapid fire? Zohran Mamdani's at the White House. Any advice for him?
I would. I don't know what he knows everything, so I can't give him any advice. If you're going to create Caracas on the Hudson,
well, his answer to affordability is going to be rent control.
You've never made things more affordable by creating scarcity, and there's prices are low in Caracas and Havana. So, my advice is. Yep. He can't get out of this, but this workers' paradise socialist experiment, if you could show me, I'm an economic historian, not an economist, show me one place it's ever worked.
Yeah. Ask a question about Where's, please.
Yeah, well, so you've done an amazing job, but it keeps coming up.
Oh, yeah, I don't think we care about that. It was a good question, but show me one place where that's actually worked, ever. And again, by the way, I mean, Caracas, what he talks about, will become, after all is said and done, a luscious tourist attraction. Once communism's rid. In all honesty, it's actually a very good investment right now. One of the cheapest places in the world that will be better. Now, granted, how much upkeep and stuff, that gets expensive, but yeah, sometimes having an empty house is worth something as long as you can keep people out of it. Trump is emerging healthcare plan could put GOP leaders in a bind, this stupid article saying, but he's got bipartisan support on this. And every time he passes something bipartisan and it's one of his ideas, the deep state's just having a freaking conniption fit. And I don't know about you, but I'm loving it.
Lawmakers on health care ahead of a vote next month.
We're negotiating with lawmakers, and I've had personal talks with some Democrats. I can't tell you who they are. I just don't want to do that. It's not fair to them. About paying large amounts of dollars back to the people. This was my idea. It came up during that. Oftentimes under times of stress, like the shutdown, you come up with great ideas that you wouldn't have thought of before. The insurance companies are making a fortune. Their stock is up over 1,000% over a short period of time. They are taking in hundreds of billions of dollars, and they're not really putting it back, certainly not like they should. So when I see this, and when I've seen this over the last pretty short period of time, I said, why do we just pay this money directly to the people of our country and let them buy their own health insurance? And I made that statement, and I made it a little bit cavalierly, but it sounded good. And everybody has picked it up, including Democrats. And I am talking to some Democrats right now about doing that. People love it. We're going to take the money. Well, if it gets approved, we're going to take the money. We're going to pay it back to the people of our country to go out and buy health insurance. Now, they can put it in a health account. We can do it a lot of different ways. But they buy their own health insurance. They can negotiate price. And it's going to be locked so they can't go out and buy a Cadillac. They can go out and buy health insurance.
And kind of important, a lot of people maybe are used to spending that in ways they're not supposed to, and maybe are like, but that's Dan, I'm broke and I have no money. And it's like, I get that, but you're not allowed to break the law. So, I don't know, figure something out. Stop. In the name of the, says Scott Bessent. Anyway, he's got his hand up. That's not what he's quite saying. But he says it's time to end the filibuster in the name of love. Before you break my heart. Everybody's kind of on board with this. Like I said, I've been fighting this. I have fought it, and I've been on board-ish for a little bit now. I mean, I'm just bringing it back up because probably is going to need to happen. I like the way he phrased it, made me feel closer to the reality of how this might play out, which is the next end of budget is like January, end of January. And so we could very likely have another government shutdown in January. This might be the time to really get crazy. And again, it's all about timing. People are doubting what's happening. I don't care. 6D chess, 5D chess. There's a plan. I don't care. I don't really care. I can see it happening. That's it for me. I don't care. People tell me like people that quote Q verbatim. I love it. I love Q, and he's right about a lot of stuff. Future proofs past, but there's also been a bunch of psyop bullshit on there intentionally. So 100% of Q was not infallible. The parts of it that are fantastic, and we're going to see, I think, more positives. But I wonder sometimes about the storm is upon us. That fucked with them so hard and caused them to go after Twitter hardcore at the time. Like that, looking back on it now with hindsight, oh my God, it was gorgeous how what they did. What that post did freaked out the deep state so much. And all of us were like, he's going to tell us there's a storm coming. Maybe. Not saying he's not. But what it accomplished at the time was magnificent. We got a game going on, guys. This is a dance, right? People like myself can't dance well, but I get the idea of dance. I get it. I just can't seem to get my body to move properly. Scott Bessent's Treasury Department ending Biden admin sanctions for political posturing. All this crap. He's basically said we're funding the war on themselves. What is he talking about? Treasury Scott explained on Meet the Press that Europeans tell me, we're doing our 19th sanctions package. He said, in my line, Kristen, if you're doing something 19 times, you failed, Bessent said on the Sunday show. Instead, President Trump will move forward with a bold initiative that the Europeans would not follow us on. He put a 25% tariff on India because they were buying Russian oil. Like, Trump's doing the thing. Nobody else is. Yeah, this is the cool part. Scott Bessent. Again, I got a boner with this guy today. Can't help it. But he's talking about how he basically bet against the elite and was way right.
It's exactly our language, but not the establishment. And this is resonating with you. Talk to us about that revelation.
Well, a reporter from the Financial Times the other day said, you seem to be the most MAGA Treasury Secretary of all time.
Yes.
Why do you think that? And I said, look, if you look back over the history of my career, I've made money betting against elite consensus.
Right.
Whether it was, we've never had a national housing crisis.
Sure.
Nothing's wrong underneath the hood.
Home prices can't go down.
Home prices can't go down. And where were the regulators? Where was the Federal Reserve? And same thing, 2012, 2013. Japan can never come out of deflation. And I just met this guy named Abe. And with a lot of this, it's very personnel is policy, policy is personnel. And when I saw what President Trump was doing, one of my biggest single trading gain days was the 2016 victory. And I don't know if everyone remembers, but the market crashed the night President Trump won. Crashed.
Yes, yeah, of course.
It was the end of the world.
Oh,
it was this, it was that. And I'm sitting there, I'm watching John King from CNN in tears, because I still remember, he does the thing where he moves the map around, and he's moving it around, and he goes, Hillary Clinton has no path to the presidency, and the market just went straight down.
Unbelievable.
So that I bet against the elite consensus of this panic, and because so many people in the investment community were the Hillary supporters that were all gathered in the New York Convention Center for the glass ceiling because she was going to break the
Javits
glass
Center.
ceiling.
Unbelievable.
I think she could do it with her voice.
Yeah. A little on the nose with that one.
So that I think is that was what started the whole Chubb moment. That was that, because just the fact that he calls out that's that's what it sounds like when she talks, like a crow or a raven, depending on where you're at and things. But yes, holy shizzle my nizzle, I would say. Try that on for size. So Dow Jones is up a little bit today. What do you know, ladies and gentlemen? Gold's up a little bit. Also, it's at 41.25. It's been chilling here for a moment like a villain. 51 for silver and change. Of course, the stock market, the spot price is probably a little different. Crypto, it was down a bit earlier today. Well, now they're just showing, I guess, a new day started for them. But yeah, Bitcoin is at 87. Again, interesting. It was down, I don't know, I think less than 1,000, but it was a little bit worse. But whatever the case is, we got this weird thing going on with crypto right now. Again, not trying to slam on it per se. Well, XRP gained some back, it looked like. Look at that, 219. It was under $2. That's curious. I mean, it was not today, but just, over the last week. It's been crazy. Get out of their system, guys. I'm just saying. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this today. I love this company. This company's going to help. If you got a 401k or an IRA, anything over $10,000, if you get the order in, I'm going to make noise to them. So if I find out you got the order in before November closes, if you got the order started, we'll probably I'll still get you the 1% free silver from me to you. Yeah, I've been talking about it. Because it's like holiday. I don't know. You got like literally like today, tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I don't know, Friday maybe, but I doubt it. So that's it. Like you got 2 days to get this ball rolling. If you get the ball rolling, very likely going to get free 1% silver from me to you as a gift. You're going to get up to 10% from my good friends at Goldco. Free silver. Silver's the one that's, it's got a lot of runway. A lot of paper contracts are holding that price down. That price is going to break free again a little bit soon. Get in on it. Get in on it while you can. DRSlikesgold.com. DRSlikesgold.com. Get out of that stupid system. You got a 401k IRA. Get into a precious metals IRA. Tax-free, penalty-free. You move the money sideways. And actual physical metals with your name on it. They're your metals. They're putting it to a trust. If they don't do that, by the way, it's a payout. If they put the metals in your hands, that's a payout. Now, I'm just saying, I'm just going to think this crazy thought. I'm not saying this is what you should do, because that's not necessarily good advice. But like, what if you transferred as much as you could over tax-free and penalty-free, and then, I don't know, down the road, barely, you're like, you know what? Hey, guys, I'd like to get that sent to me. All of it that you managed to get over tax-free and penalty-free, right? Send me all that. They're going to be like, that's a payout. You're going to have to get penalties, which you can be paid financial, and you'll probably have to pay some extra taxes. And, that's an option. You don't want to do that because you got penalties, and then you're going to have to come up with some cash. So that's not necessarily a good idea. But there are ways to get that payout to happen and get that physical metal brought to you. So just keep those things in mind because, again, payout. You're going to get a 401k or an IRA. That's money that the second they bring it to you, you get taxed. If you do it before the age, you're penalized. Period. End of story. That's the point. It's always been that way. That's how the money got there. They can't not do that. Go sideways with it. Get as much as you can. Up to 1% from me to you as a gift. I love you. Well, not up to. 1% for sure. Anything over $10,000, 1% to you from me. I love you. Up to 10%. From Goldco, because that depends on the dollar amount. If anything over 100,000, it's like the 10% up right there, right? Anything under there, it's less than 10%. I don't know, it's ratioed. DRSlikesgold.com. DRSlikesgold.com. Get out of their friggin' system while you can. There's a bubble. It's not going to be pretty when it pops. Get as much of that wealth, the buying power, out of there. Get it out. Get it down. The Boy Scouts are surprised that the Hexeth has deepened separated from them, and it's because they do the DEI stuff. And frankly, I'm not going to be a dick here, but Boy Scouts was always supposed to be Boy Scouts. I feel like they're kind of was a weird thing that kind of happened when girls were allowed to come into that, and now boys are trying to get into girl stuff, and that's not okay. Again, I'm not saying it shouldn't be, but like, I don't know. Boys, and to the girls that have become Eagle Scouts and stuff specifically, because I got a buddy that signs off on this. I talked to him about this shit too. It's not that everybody agrees with me. This is crazy talk, but very much a lot of the girls that have made it through the program, especially the ones that become Eagle Scouts, they're way better for it. You're not going to learn that shit in Girl Scouts selling stupid cookies and the other dumb shit they do. No offense, but it's not even the same thing. It's not even it's night and day different. But there is something about men's sports. There's something like there's a weirdness about when boys are together and they're just boys. They don't have to worry about, because we fucking get stupid when girls come around. That's what it comes down to. We just, pretty girl, boobies, and we can't, we're like a fucking squirrel. Like we can't, we're like a bull when a cow's in heat, right? We just can't deal with it. Or when a bull's in heat. Are they in heat together? I don't know how that works. Maybe it's just when the bull's like, dude, you ever just woke up with, anyway, happens. Some. I hope I covered that story. Yeah, the Scouts are sad. Whatever. I mean, EU courts rule Poland must recognize same-sex marriages from other member states. Oh, that's like that Supreme Court case we had. Poland's I don't know what the fuck's going on with Poland, frankly, personally, because they are all over the map. But certainly Germany's pissed at them right now, which is kind of funny, because it's not, but it is, historically speaking. It's not gone well for you, Poland, to be mad at Germany. But fortunately, they don't have any military because they've given it all over to fucking Ukraine. So, yeah, you can, I don't know, throw hot dogs at them. What does Poland got? I don't even know. I don't even know what they got this Polish sausage, though, right? They got that thing? Isn't that, what else? What else they got? Fucking sling that at least. Throw a bunch of them fuckers and hit them in the, I got hit in the eye, fuck shit. I'd be like, I have glasses, bitch. I can't see out of this side anymore, but still got my eye. EU and whose army? So the EU's screwed right now. It looks like this whole Ukraine war is possibly being accepted. That's what we're hearing. But EU's bumming. NATO's bumming. Their money flow, their whole purpose for living has been destroyed. Trump has stopped all, or almost, soon to be, all of the wars on the planet. There's a couple skirmishes right now. We're going to fuck those things up too. And we're going to cause a couple, it seems. Venezuela, maybe. Maybe. I think Maduro's going to fucking check out, though. I really do. I don't know why I'm cussing so much, but I think he's going to. Trump, power to the people. Ukraine accepts key terms we're hearing. We'll see. They're bitching about it. Donald Trump, truth this. Over the past week, my team has made tremendous progress with respect to ending the war between Russia and Ukraine. A war that would never have started if I were president. You guys remember that, right? Last month, 25,000 soldiers died. The original 28-point peace plan, which was drafted by the United States, has been fine-tuned with additional input from both sides, and there are only a few remaining points of disagreement. In the hopes of finalizing this peace plan, I have directed my special envoy, Steve Witkoff, to meet with the President Putin in Moscow, and at the same time, Secretary of the Army Dan Driscoll will be meeting with Ukrainians. That's the military side. Witkoff's like administration side. Dan, raising Cain, that's like a general. That's like, you've been conquered. Fortunately, no real Ukrainians watch my show, but done. So they're sending Raising Cain to meet with Ukrainians. I will be briefed on the progress made, along with Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles. I look forward to hopefully meeting with President Zelensky and its final stages. Thank you for your attention to this important matter, and let's hope that peace can be accomplished as soon as possible. I'm surprised he didn't say, let the, like, peace on earth and let it begin with me. Again, you almost kind of have to have an ego to be in the place where Trump's at. So people that are like judging him for that, dude, the guy's in front of millions of people, right? He's made billions of dollars. He's probably going to have a bit of an ego. Probably. Yeah. I'm not a billionaire, so it's hard for me to judge. 6 dead as Russian missiles pummel Kiev. They're not done attacking them. Russia's not holding back. He sent 460 drones and a bunch of missiles, 22 of them apparently. And he's like, yeah, we're going to keep blowing you up. Come on, end this war, bitches. So we'll see. We'll see what he can do on that. Google denies claim that it's reading Gmail to train its AI. Here's the thing. One thing that's kind of cool about, I will say, Google does give you granularity. A lot of you Apple users, I'm not being a dick. I'm not trying to be a dick. This is just hey, differences, okay? Apple locks you down, so you don't really get into the granularity. You don't need to. You kind of can't. Doesn't matter, so you don't ever, right? But when it comes to like people that use Google, people that use any of their app, there's this like you hit the tab and then drop down, there's like security or there's settings or there's this other thing. And you can get into preferences and all sorts of crazy stuff. And you're like, oh, you got shit turned on that I don't want you to have. And they let you turn it off. So Google's saying, hey, we're not reading your Gmails to train AI. And my favorite part, I got this. In a post issued on November 21st, Gmail said that it wanted to, quote, set the record straight on recent misleading reports, end quote. It listed several points saying, quote, we have not changed anyone's settings, end quote. Gmail's, quote, smart features, end quote, have existed for years. And, quote, we do not use your Gmail content to train our Gemini AI model, end quote. Now, here's the thing. This last part might very well be true. But one thing that's interesting, if you guys are any of the people that use these types of devices, if you don't let AI, if you didn't turn it on, I mean, if you turned it on, you're bummed. But if you didn't turn it on, then you're okay. If you turned it on, there was an agreement that you signed on to, and you said yes. And if you look in that agreement, it's able to read all your stuff. So yeah, you're not. It's reading everything. It doesn't even matter what's on your phone. That's the thing. So again, I'm not trying to. God bless it. I deserve that. There we go. That's all I'm trying to do. Just click the screen. Illegal Chinese fishing has caused $800 million in damages in Peru because China just goes in there with their big nets and scoops up everything. Peru's economy is being affected. It's just another thing where China sometimes doesn't seem to give a crap about others. China, they got 1 billion plus people to feed, so hey, let's be honest. China launches emergency space mission to reach the stranded astronauts. The story is not very well written as far as the title, but long story short, the astronauts that got stranded were already brought back. Now, what happened is when the new astronauts showed up, they had to give up their ride, if you will, to the stranded astronauts so they could go home. They could go GTFF, get GTFH or whatever. Yeah, that works. And so they didn't have a craft anymore. They just got a busted craft that they had some spare parts and stuff come on that ship that came up to let them go home. But, yeah, they still got a problem, right, with the other craft. So these guys are like, dude, if something happens, we're going to die. And that was pretty much what was up. And so they sent up another vehicle with some spare parts so they could fix the craft that's there, hopefully, which is curious, by the way, if that's even possible. I'm very curious about that because it's got to be able to get somebody home or multiple people home. So what kind of fix are you able to do just in a spacewalk? Maybe it's something minor. You lost an engine or something. I mean, literally, what are you guys gonna be out there like Jiffy Lubing on your fucking shit? You'd be like, your windshield. You ever noticed your air filter? Man, fuck, they'll pull all sorts of weird shit out of there and fucking tell China they need to replace it. Whatever the case is, they were able to send an extra craft up there, so these guys have a way to get out of there. So we'll see. We'll see what all happens with China. I mean, again, I always wish them well. They're space stations are dangerous. They get hit like a paint fleck flying at the speeds they're going, and it hits you like that could jack up your whole world. One little paint fleck. It happens too. They get leaks. They got stuff they can spray where it'll suck to the leak and then like seals it. And for the most part, most of that stuff's like almost aluminum foil thick as far as what's saving them from the outside world. So it's not like it's like a Mylar balloon. That's a good way to look at it. You know, it's strong, but it's thin as hell. Trump's starting this whole Genesis mission project. Has to do with the AI. We'll see. I love how this freaks people out. It's happening, so I just know it's happening, and I know nothing is happening outside of what's supposed to and allowed and all that. So we're going through this transition, but it's interesting to watch people freak out about this because this is definitely going down. Everybody's like, it's gonna kill us, and I don't know. I don't think so. I don't believe so. I think it's actually gonna ultimately help us do stuff that we right now would be like, computer, tell me how stupid I just was. And it'll be like full of advice, I'm quite sure. Can't wait to hear it. So Trump signed this executive order. We'll see what happens when it gets there. Amazon announces $50 billion plan for dedicated government AI supercomputing. One thing that's bumming me out, and this I think is a fail on our part as people, but there's companies that are talking about creating their own power sites to pay for their supercomputing. And a lot of people out there would be like, good, we shouldn't have to pay for it. That's fucked up. Here's the thing. Most of us, all of us, don't have enough power. So as we should joint spend on this so we can also enjoy the power. I think it's stupid not to. And they'll be like, well, shit, then we'll need 2 gigawatts instead of 1 gigawatt. And be like, all right, well, let's do 2 gigawatts. We'll pay for one of those gigawatts. You pay for one of those gigawatts. We'll build them at the same time, and that'll save us all money, and life will be good. Win-win. Because we all need power. They got 3 power grids in this country. You got East, you got Texas, and you got West. That's it. You need power. We all need power. Letting them have it solely, a little scary. Because who knows what corners they're going to cut. Who knows? They don't care about anybody around them. They got a nuclear reactor, and they're like, nah, we're just about profits. We saw what happened with McDonnell Douglas and Boeing, and planes falling out of the friggin' sky. Well, mostly just crashing into each other and having flaps fall off when they land, and engines apparently ripping off after they take off. That was McDonnell Douglas. Thank God. I got a good Boeing friend out there that was just like, dude, I feel like you're speaking bad about Boeing. And I've said before, I just want to give one more call out. I love Boeing. Love them. My grandpa retired from Boeing. I love Boeing. I toured one of their plants. I love them. I've been very disheartened by a lot of what's happening. And one of the theories that I had, and I posited, I guess is the right word, and he, whatever, is, and I think, sort of like that might be, but it's like maybe China and their airline, like there might be some trying to make it a bigger deal so they can sell their planes. And then the other side of it is I think we've just got people that don't spend money on maintenance. All said. Because maintenance is one of those things that's very expensive on airplanes. Very expensive on airplanes. Every hour flown, there's like 4 to 6 to 7 to 8 hours, military even higher sometimes, of maintenance. Like, it's stupid. Maybe it's not quite that low, but it's stupid. It's like, every hour you fly, you got maintenance that costs that come out your butthole. It's probably way less than what I just said, but it's still, it adds up very, very quickly. And now you're talking about your plane, they have to remove an engine and rebuild it and stupid stuff like that. And it's like, Ethiopian volcano, we talked about this yesterday. Its ash cloud went far, yay. It's probably going to go to Saudi Arabia. And it went up to 15 kilometers, 10 to 15 kilometers in the sky. We talked about it again yesterday. This just, again, because of the way it's drifting across, this stuff can't get into a jet engine. Planes cannot fly through it. It's extraordinarily dangerous to an engine. Literally could seize the engine in flight. These little particles are nasty as hell. And so planes stay the shizzle away. And that's how that works. And we're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Modular reactor tide rising, nano nuclear study, multiple MMRs to generate 1 gigawatt in Texas. This is hopefully for the Texas grid, because you guys are going to be picking up some other stuff. This was a cool example of what I think Trump is looking into on how we can fix the places in the nation that have problems energy-wise. So these little MMRs are little mini reactors, I think, basically, that can just kind of drive in, and set up, and little things pop up, and they can somehow put a garden hose up to your house or something, and all of a sudden now they're generating megawatt of power or something, or many megawatts. So there's something going on. They're looking into it, and my guess is when we get to that point where everything goes dark, or suddenly, because of all the green movements, all the people that keep failing in wintertime, Trump's going to have a way to go out there and save people's lives. See, we got the elections in the bag, guys, and we're going to do the paper count. Trust me, we got this. There's so many things coming up that you guys are just not aware of yet, but they're going to happen. I don't know what's going on with this Campbell soup thing. They hate Campbell soup. They're talking about fake meat, and I'm not saying what they're saying is wrong. Bums me out a little bit because I certainly, am sort of a fan again. But, yeah, we got a weird thing going on. One of the VPs, which, by the way, in a lot of these companies, VPs are like managers. They're everybody. There's like 100 VPs. There's 100 VPs, but then there's like regional VPs, or there's it's a weird hierarchy. VP is not quite the title that many of us maybe ascribe it to. But, there's just whatever. That said, this bums me out. I don't know. Just wanted to play it. Make sure you guys are on the same page.
For Campbell's headquarters, based in Camden, New Jersey.
A former Campbell Soup Company employee is taking legal action against the food giant, and he's making some explosive allegations about one of its top executives. Good evening, and thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Ty Steele.
I'm Kimberly Gill. Those allegations are now at the center of a lawsuit claiming the company's vice president went on an hour-long tirade attacking the company's products and employees before taking aim at its customers.
And the former employee recorded it all. Eric Erickson shares that recording and what the company is saying about it.
We have shit for poor people. Who buys our shit?
And that's just part of an over an hour-long rant, says former security analyst for Campbell's, Robert Garza of Monroe.
I don't buy Campbell's products barely anymore. So healthy. Now that I know what the in it, even in a can of soup, I look at me, bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer.
The recording allegedly of Campbell's VP and Chief Information Security Officer Martin Bally.
He has no filter.
Bally, along with another supervisor and Campbell Soup Company, named in a lawsuit filed Thursday. The suit claiming Bally made racist remarks, admits to coming to work high, and Garza fired for coming forward.
What do you think about the things that he was saying?
Oh, just pure disgust.
Garza says he usually worked remotely for Campbell's headquarters, based in Camden, New Jersey. But thinking he'd be discussing his salary with Bally, he says the recording taken in person at a restaurant.
They couldn't think for themselves. I'm like, you dumb
Garza says he felt sick after the rant, deciding to go to his direct supervisor in January, keeping the recordings to himself.
He had never had any disciplinary action. They had never written him up for poor work performance.
Garza says no one at Campbell's ever followed up, and it's taken him 10 months to find a new job, calling the way the canned soup company handled it simply terrible.
They have a motto, we treat you like family, here at Campbell's, come work for us, we treat our employees like family. That's not the case.
We did just receive a statement from Campbell's that says, quote, if accurate, the comments in the recording are unacceptable. They do not reflect our values and the culture of our company. We are actively investigating this matter. We've also reached out directly to Martin Bally.
And we also admit that our food is not really food, it's a food product. By the way, look at, if you guys got Velveeta. Velveeta is one of my favorite. It's this cheese product on there, something to that effect. It's not food. They legally can't call it food. Just something to think about. Legally, you can't call it food. Why is that? Yeah, don't know. World's crazy place, guys. We're gonna go into a fun time. That's all I can say. And I hope I hope I've done you guys good to go into it. You go and be smart and stuff. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'll help however I can. Take an umbrella with you, maybe, and a flashlight, always, and my pillow. You should take one of those. It's like the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The blanket. You should have the towel. Always have a towel. And 42 or 24. Either way, those are your answers for everything. It's the best guidance I can give. I love you guys. We will get through this. And it's been a weird, slow week. Where we go one, we go all. It's on the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.